afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming to the Wolff. My name is Rich Weimer. For those who don't know me, I'm the PR director here with the Missions. This is always kind of our first event of the year. Always exciting to have our first Missions press conference, and as we're knocking on the door of spring training and our season, it's always great to have something at the Wolff. And just on a quick side note, we'll have our first baseball action next week at Notre Dame. Their annual Irish Alamo Classic will be here. Notre Dame, St. Louis, Lafayette, and UIW will all be here next weekend, so we'll have actual game action. Philip's going to come up here in a second and have an opening statement, answer some questions, and if anybody needs something one-on-one, or Philip, just come get me, we'll gladly set that up. So to get us started, the president of the San Antonio Missions, Mr. Broyarmo.
Thank you, Rich. Welcome to Nelson Wolff Stadium. Man, it's an exciting time. I was talking to Chuck a little earlier. Had football last week, and you know, once the Super Bowl's over, we know we're not far from pitchers and catchers. So it's an exciting time, I know, for a lot of us. You know, last year we were very fortunate to have Philip join us. We were really excited about a year ago when we welcomed him back to San Antonio to have a manager that grew up here. You know, for us, really the second one in the last decade with John Gibbons, who we had back earlier in the decade, and then to have Philip here last year, who grew up here, played high school baseball here. It's been wonderful. So you know, 62 days from today is our home opener, or that's when we open on the road. So and looking forward to that. But very great to have Monty with us as well. I know Philip's brothers are excited to have him back. You know, our deal with the Padres was up last year, and you know, one of the main things we talked to them about was we really wanted Philip back with us this year. He did a great job last year. We struggled in the first half with a young team, and second half played much better, above 500. And looking forward, the Padres made a lot of changes and really, you know, put a lot into development and signing young talent. And we're really looking forward to the team that we have this year. But Philip, welcome back. Looking forward to a great season. Thank you.
This is an exciting day for me. It really is like coming back home, and it's nice to see a lot of familiar faces here. And I can only hope that the weather is this good when we open up here in 62 days, whatever. I know it won't be this good when we open up in Northwest Arkansas, but I'll talk to the league president about why we're opening up in the north later. I'm not real sure why we do that, but well, the south is always warmer than the north, and we probably should be opening up down here. But nonetheless, we'll eventually work our way back to San Antonio and have our home opener. But again, it's you know, I was really excited last year, and I think I'm more excited this year than I was last year, because now when I go to spring training, we'll be there sometime tomorrow, I at least have a clue of the names of the players. And last year I had to depend on Jimmy Jones as much as I've ever depended on a pitching coach before, because I didn't know any of the pitchers, and didn't know a whole lot of the position players either. And congrats, by the way, for those of you who don't know, Johnny Washington, who was here as our hitting coach last year, is now the first base coach in the big leagues. And he and I went in not knowing any of the position players, and I think it'll be to our advantage this year when we have meetings in spring training to at least have a clue who the players are and what they're capable of doing, and hopefully we'll come out of the gates a little better than we did in the first half last year. Any questions? Any answers? Whatever you got. Chuck, what do you got? How was the Super Bowl?
Great, Phil. Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it very much. The first half was kind of like our season last year. It was not very impressive, but in Tom Brady fashion and Bill Belichick fashion and Patriots fashion, they just kept grinding. They stayed the course, took care of business. It was enjoyable. I'm sure it was better in person though.
this level, the Double A level, what are your thoughts playing in the Texas League and the talent that you've not only had, but who you've got a chance to play against?
You know, I still think I mentioned this last year. I still think Double A baseball is probably obviously I like it because I've been here for about 20 years in Double A, whether it's been the Southern League or the Texas League, and I think that level has more prospects in it than even Triple A. And I really think that the kids that show up here are still anxious and hungry, and they want to learn and they want to get better, and they'll run balls out, and they play the game hard. And for that, I enjoy and I admire this level for that reason. And not to say that they don't do it in AAA, but it's a little more old hat there for them. And these kids are still very, very enthusiastic. But I enjoyed my travels through this league. Anybody else? Nick, congratulations on your promotion. Look forward to working with you this year. Yes, I also would like to recognize Mr. Tom Kaiser, who only has a few more days as the acting Texas League president. 25 years he's been doing that. So I would like to recognize him as well. Thanks for being here. You didn't have to come, but that's why you're one of my favorite guys I've ever written checks to.
How many checks did you write him last year?
I didn't write him. He just went and sat next to my wife in the stands. He knew where the bank was, so he just got those checks.
Yeah, you guys would love this. When Phillip would get tossed here, she would look up for Kaiser knowing that he's coming to get a fine check or whatever.
Well, I didn't have to look for Phillip. Monty'd be in the stands waving her checkbook at me, and that was my signal to come on down.
You kept me out of trouble a few times, though, Mr. Kaiser, and I appreciate that. I hope the new league president is as nice a human being as you. Pat, what do you got? Pat, I learned something every year. That I told my dad that a couple nights ago when we were talking, and he asked me if I still had passion for the game, and I said, Dad, you know, the day I quit getting chills during the national anthem on opening day is the day I'm going home. And I'll just sit in my rocking chair, but I believe the same is true about learning something. You know, the day I quit learning something in this game, that's time to leave, because for me, the most dangerous people in the world are people who think they're smarter than everybody and know everything. And I refuse to be one of those guys. So, you know, every year you learn something, and so I look forward to learning something this year. And you know, I tell people this all the time, especially at home, high school coaches. You know who I learn the most from are the players. You know, just in conversing with them and talking to them and trying to teach and trying to get feedback from them about how does that feel and where did that come from. You know, you learn from the players a lot. And of course, when you're around, you know, different coaches. Jay Wash was a dynamic young coach, 32 years old. He's a brilliant human being, and I learned a lot just from sitting around talking with him on 13-hour bus rides. It was great. I would like to recognize one other person. I'm not going to ask him to stand because he's 88 years old, and I don't know if he can stand. Mr. John Gilbert, who I played for, I'm not going to tell you how long ago. It was a long time ago, okay, here in the Span Am League, but he was very influential in my baseball life as well, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Jeff Long, you got anything?
What about some prospects that might be here this year?
You know what? I really don't know, because I'm not real sure who all they've signed. I would anticipate some of the guys that finished the season with us, like Cordero and River Stevens. I expect to see them back again. I certainly wouldn't expect to see Rocky Gell back. He's earned his way. He had earned his way last year to be in AAA, but he wanted to play every day, and what a great human being he was, and agreed to come to AA so he could get at bats every day. But I think we'll see a mix of some young guys and coming up from A-ball that have earned the opportunity, and some guys that will be repeating here, like Franchi Cordero, who only got 300 at-bats last year here. And, they told me last year, as most of y'all know, we were terrible the first half. I can't say that in a nice way. But I enjoyed those kids, even when we were getting our rear ends handed to us, because they came to work every day, and they were good human beings, and they busted their tails, and they came to get better every day. But we were just so far behind when we broke camp with the talent that we had, and we lacked experience. And I think the Atlanta Falcons understand now the importance of having experience and how much that brings to the table when you're playing. But that you can't replace it. And they kept telling me, be patient. Our prospects are at the lower level. Our prospects are at the lower levels. So we were patient, made it through that 22-48 half, and then they sent some of those young kids like Franchi and some of the pitchers that we saw come up during the year that were, quite honestly, were better players and better prospects than what we broke camp with. And hopefully we're through that little lull and hole in the organization, and we're going to fill it up with those young kids that were in A-ball last year that had pretty good years.
Still getting them fat Super Bowl checks from that commercial you ran a few years ago?
No. I'm no longer a member of SAG. My wife is so embarrassed about that Super Bowl commercial because I have no rhythm and my dancing skills are not very good. But I was born and raised here in Texas. I can two-step, but I can't do that stuff they wanted me to do out in California. Good? Thank y'all for coming.